Hello and welcome to the video. I'm Jimmy the Mower. Join me to find out if I would recommend this workstation from Bigdug. I'm pretty desperate for a workstation. I got my radios out a while ago. I've been looking at them. I want to set them up somewhere. I want to test them. I want to see what I've got. The best way to do that is to put them on a workstation. I've been looking around and I can get one to fit in this gap. It's about 6 foot wide or thereabouts to the plug socket, 1.8 meters, I think, roughly. So I ordered one in. It's coming from Bigdug. I looked at the reviews. I did want one from elsewhere, but I couldn't get hold of it. I looked at the reviews. I wasn't completely happy with it before I ordered it. There was a lot of debate about the packaging methods, etc. It's come, and instead of coming in one box, I've got 1 parcel, 2 parcels, 3, 4, 5 parcels, 6 parcels, right? Some of these parcels are damaged. We've already got some damage on the end of one of these here. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's all bent and folded over. That's dropped out of the big cardboard tube that it was in and been splattered on the floor. One of the ends was missing off the cardboard tube. I've opened every box and tube there is so far, so I'm hoping in this one here, we should have the little joining bits for these bits and hopefully some instructions. So I'm hoping this live. If not, they'll be lost in transit. Oh, dropped my knife. Lost in transit somewhere, and then we have got a bit of a problem. Oh dear. They're not banded together, they're just wrapped loosely in a bit of spent bubble wrap with no bubbles in it. And yeah, there's no instructions. Right. I better put all these bits and pieces down on the floor. I thought they'd all be taped up like these. I'll put all the bits and pieces down on the floor. I'll see what I've got. I'll try and get something from it. Hopefully there might be some instructions in one of these boards for the shelves. We'll have a little look. But if not, I'll have to try and wing it and put it together. You know, see how it goes. Right then, we've got everything unwrapped. Tried to sort it out. There's no instructions. I'm not sure if they do come with instructions or not, but we haven't got any at all. The only thing we got was a checklist. I've been through the checklist and fingers crossed everything seems to be here. We've got various uprights, these ones here, various lengths. I presume the 2 long ones will go at the back. We've sort of put them roughly where they're going to go. We'll have the smaller ones at the front and they'll support the main desk itself, and then we've got a couple of little shelves above. Now, you get some feet with these. Make sure you put the feet on. I've got a nice PVC floor tile down on my workshop, so like with these tiles we need protecting, so we put these on and they're pretty simple to clip on. You just put them in and away you go. That's it. They might drop off, they're not great, but I think by the time you've got the weight stood on top of them it'll keep them down. So that's a little tip for those. Put all of those on first, and then there's also some end caps over here, and I get the end caps, and this is one of the uprights for the shelves that go on the top, so it'll have a foot on there, so it'll sit on the desk. And also it's got a little end cap, and these little end caps just go on the top and they'll fit on there, and that just finishes it off, just trims it off, just in case you're reaching across you're not going to catch it yourself on anything, because these are very sharp. So that's how you do those. We get those done, we'll make sure the others are done. I'm going to put everything into position really, and then we'll start assembling. Oh, just a quick thing about how we do assemble them. Actually, I'll bend down. Now, we've got some little, I'll come really forward, some little slots on there, right? And they fit into these little keyways on here. So when you're putting the feet on, make sure the narrow bit is at the bottom, this narrow bit. And then when we put these together, he says confidently that they should fit in like so. So we've got that there, those, and they fit into this like a key. And then we tap them down with a rubber mallet, which isn't supplied, you have to bring your own. I've got mine over here somewhere. Oh, here it is. Look, it's my camping one. I've even got my peg puller still on the end. So, but you tap that down together. I'm not going to do it in my hands because it won't work properly. You've got to put it on a hard surface. Tap it down, they should slot in. I'm not sure how easy they'll come apart again, so lay it all out and make sure you've got it in the right area first, because it might be a one-time only thing. But we'll have a go now then. I've got my friend Felix with me. He's good for fetching, carrying and holding stuff, so he'll be supporting the other end as we're trying to knock it all together. Fingers crossed, we'll have a bit of a workstation in a few minutes. Look how much I'm smiling. God, we're having great fun today. We put it together about 4 times, and every time we put it together, we tap in somewhere else and it starts falling apart. We've had 3 people in here, myself, Felix and somebody else, to get it to the stage we're at now, right? We finally got it to this bit. We're semi-solid maybe. So this is where the main desk's gonna sit. Now I'm gonna put these bits on. I'm going to put them on the top to hold the frame together. That should give it a bit more stability. And this is where the top shelf will sit. So we're going to put this one on first at the back, and then we'll have to try and work out where the bottom one goes, and we can put that one on at the bottom. And then once we've done that, we'll be able to put the main board in across the middle. Hopefully that'll hold it where it needs to be, and we can carry on with the shelves, right? Yeah, hopefully. So we'll just put this together now, if we can. As this has taken a lot longer than expected, young Felix has had to head off. I got to this stage, I'm pretty confident I can do the rest of it on my own. It's certainly not a one-man job, it's definitely a 2-man job, and if you get one like we've got with some loose joints on there, it's probably a 3-person job, so that's how it is. Right, now I'm going to put this bracing across the middle. This bracing fits in across there, some tabs on these bits, and that'll go across the middle, and then that'll support the board. Once we've got this in, I can put the board on top, and the board should sit inside the lip on these corners, and that should hold it fairly rigid, and I'll be able to work on the rest of the top pieces. So might be a bit of a struggle getting this bit in. Now I'm on my own, but I'll have a go, eh? Never say never. Right, the centre bracing's gone on. I've got the main board on itself, so supposedly that can hold up to 400 kgs. However, I don't think I'll be sitting on there myself, so we'll leave that test for another day, eh? But at least we've got that in, and now we can start to build from here. You can see it's still very, very wobbly. I'm hoping by the time we get the bracings on underneath with the shelf underneath, that'll sort of make it a bit more rigid and a bit more firm. If not, I've already thought about putting some little screws through here. I've got the benefit of having a timber wall, so being timber framed, we can screw through these, put some washers on and hold it to the wall. You shouldn't really have to do that, but if that's what we've got to do to make it a viable option, then that's what we've got to do. So right, I'll get underneath and I'll start to do these bits, or I might work on the top. I'll just see which bits I can sort out first. Well, I'm glad I chose to do the underneath shelf first and not the top ones, because imagine my delight when I went to put the underneath shelf in and realised that this actually runs along underneath and that supports the lower shelf. And for the middle shelf, which we have here, this is the only support you get, and that runs from front to back, roughly in the middle, about there. Okay, so because of that, these ends that we struggled so long with, and so made it so difficult to get these in. I've now got to come back out of here, and this entire H section has got to drop down to the level I've put that in, and then we've got to reconnect it all. So it's going to be a little bit difficult, especially now Felix has gone. I'm on my own, but I'm going to have to give it a go because I want to get this up and running tonight. But just be aware of that then. The ones that run across there, I presume that we just have a big support on the biggest support area, and that there'll be extra of the struts that went across just to drop in, and one of these just across the small plank just to support it. However, that's not how it works, evidently, so I've got that wrong. We didn't have any instructions with it, so I'm just winging it. So I'm going to move this section, a section across there, down to that level, put that in, and then I'll have to knock these bits in at the top, and hopefully it doesn't all collapse in the middle of it, because if it does, then I think I'll have just about had enough for today anyway. So we'll get that bit in, hopefully that'll work, and it'll all sort of square up again, and we should be all right. And then we can get the bottom shelf in, the top shelf in, and then see about screwing it to the wall and stuff. Right, I'm going to have a cup of tea, calm down, and I'll come back and sort it out. I've had myself a cup of tea and I'm feeling a bit more refreshed. Right, we took that H down to there, and it wasn't as hard as I thought. Obviously, as soon as we undid it, it all collapsed in on itself again. I had a bit of a wrestle. I had to get my wife in to help me and hold things up and move things around. So that was done. I then put these in on the top, so you can see I haven't cheated. We've got the brace that goes across. So basically we've got some unsupported board there, unsupported board there. For me, I'm having radios on there, bench test electrical equipment, that sort of stuff. So it's not like we're putting a great deal of weight on it. If we were putting some engines on and stuff, then I might be inclined to put a few more struts across, even wooden ones if I just screwed through. But that's basically the frame. The shelves that come from here just come out and they sit down and sit on top of this work bench that will be in there. So we'll have another look at it, and it's not really as robust or rigid as I thought. Hopefully when we put the board on, it might make a bit of a difference, but when I did that previously, the board didn't quite reach all the corners. There was a bit of flex in there, so probably won't be great, but don't dismiss it out of hand. You know, we'll put it all together and see how it is, and see if we can get some stuff on. You know, it's not all negative, not all doom and gloom. We've got to try and look on the positive side. I'm going to have a nice little bench up this corner of the workshop. We're going to run a 12-volt supply out there from a diesel heater, so I'm going to be nice and warm when I sit up this end, and we're going to run that down and put some warmth in the other end. So it's going to be a nice place to work. We just got to work on making this, you know, as solid and stable as we can. Right, I'll get the board and pop that on top. Right, that's the board in place then, and it hasn't really done much for the stability. But look, come on now, don't laugh, we'll make the most of it, don't worry. Right, I'm gonna put the little corner protectors on here and here, and then I'll start working on these shelves at the top and see if we get those built up. Right, top board's on, corner protectors are on. I've laid these bits out. Now, the way this bit works is we're having some corner shelves. I don't know which end it is easier for you to see me. Corner shelves are going to go fit into there, and they'll come out to here about halfway. Same again over this side. We'll build a frame. I'll put the top ones on first to hold it in place. Then I'll put the middle ones on to hold that in place. I don't know what height I'm going to have these shelves. I'll have the top one on the highest setting. It's always got to be on the highest setting because you want to maximise the height on there. You can put some stuff on, you can get a few bits and pieces on. If we're going to change the configuration, we can just lower this down a bit, maybe lower the bottom one down. I'm not sure where they'll go, but I'll set them about halfway, try and give it maximum stability, eh? So, right, I'll just clip these in. I'll take these fantastic corner protectors off. And that just goes in about there, if I can find my mallet. That's that one. Then I'll come up here, take that corner protector off, and we just put this one in. I might want to have to, this one might have to go down a little bit more. It's not quite flush with the top one. Right, now the front comes on. Not sure how we're going to get that on. Maybe I should have put the front one on first, eh? We'll see. Not much give in there, these smaller ones. You got most of it when you're trying to move it round, it's falling apart, and the little bit that you want it to move, it won't. So you've got to tap it back out. Right, that's that in. Okay, that's that. Now we've got the corner protector on the feet of these as well. So when you're putting these on, make sure you've got the corner protectors on. It will spread the load when you're hammering these on as well. So that's what we'll do. I'll knock this one out again a little bit. And if you heard my phone buzzing then, that's probably one of my pals saying, come on Jimmy, where are you? We're off for a beer. But I can't go yet because I'm still stuck here doing this, so I better pull my finger out. Right, that's that one done. Now hopefully with this, if we set this about halfway, I'll put it a little bit further down so I can see what I'm doing. I'm not hidden by my plug socket there. Right, so that's that done then. That was a lot more difficult than it needed to be, I'll tell you that for nothing. Right, I'm going to put the shelves on now, put the boards on the top, put the boards underneath. I can already see these shelves going to have to go up. We might only ever have one shelf on here. I need the room underneath to get radios on and stuff. You're never quite sure when you have these. If I'd have brought the desk out a little bit further to here, and you're sitting in the way of the double doors all the time, so you know it's not the easiest thing to make up. I've used all the bits up, so there's no supporting bracings for these front and back, so we've got quite a bit of flex and play in those. They might have been lost in transit, but I've been through the notes and they're not in there as far as I can tell. I'll put the boards on, I'll put the end caps on, not as they take much putting on, they just slot on like that and lift off. I can see me losing a few of those. So we'll put those on, we'll put the boards on, and then we'll just sit here and we'll have a look at the finished product, eh? Well, that's your finished product then. There it is. It took about 2.5 hours to get together all in all, and at one point there was 3 people working on it. So you do the maths, eh? Right, it was about 200 quid, maybe a little bit more, including the VAT and delivery. We got it here, it came, the packaging wasn't great, but as far as I can tell, it was all here. Negatives, it's not very stable, it's a bit wobbly, right? Maybe I can put the shelf a bit lower, that might give it a bit more rigidity. We could probably do with some bracings front to back on these as well. I might get some timber and just screw that across. Yeah, could have put a bit of white facing on this board, couldn't we? All brown board or all white board, a mixture of the two. You'd hope that that'd be like sort of hidden, sunk underneath, but it's not the way it is. And the corner pieces, I don't know if you can see the one up here behind my head, but you know, they just flick off. They don't grip anything, they just lift off. So that's the negatives. The plus point is it arrived within 2 days, which, you know, is a rarity these days. I ordered it and it was quite quick to get here. It's better than what I had. I didn't have anything before, so I have now got at least a workable bench. I need to lift this up a little bit higher so I can get radios and stuff underneath. I got the benefit of having timber walls in here. We've got an insulated building. It's built especially for doing these sorts of videos and stuff. So we've got a log lap on the outside, then some insulation, some membrane that goes in between, and then we've clad it on the inside. So with this, what I'm going to do is screw it to the wall, so we can pin it to the wall and we can screw it, one at the bottom, two in the middle, one at the top, probably one across as we come across, and then the same down there, another 4 down there, and then there's a little gap behind me. If I can make some spaces, I think a bit of lath or something will slide in there, and we can probably screw it to the wall there as well. So that'll make it solid. It won't move then, it won't go anywhere. So yeah, would I recommend it? I don't think so. It's a lot of money for probably not the greatest thing I've ever bought, but it's better than I had before, which was nothing. It is functional, I should say. It's functional, but it's not great. It's not great. I'm going to build a workbench over the other side of this this workshop, and that's going to be our main workbench. And we're looking at different bits and pieces to put on there, and I think after building this up, I think what we're going to do is build on ourselves out of timber. I've got a friend of mine who's quite good with woodwork and stuff, so I'll draft him in and we'll put something up. So that should be a bit better. So keep your eyes peeled for that video. I'm sorry about this one being a bit of a depressing one. It's not great, is it? You know, you get these products, you don't know, but I've tested it, so you don't have to. You make your own mind up. Now, talking of videos, if you haven't seen the perfect draft one, now is the best time to go and have a look at that, because that's exactly what I'll be doing now. I'll be going to have a pint of perfect draft, because this has taken it out of me today. If you've got anything nice to say, pop it in the comment section below. We'll put the link to this if you really want it, and all the other bits and pieces in the description. Thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I'm off for a cold one. I'm Jimmy the Mower. I'll catch you on the next one.